is like now they are going to release a platform. If any of you are familiar with social media and the way that you create body filters over there, they all have their own platform, their own creator platform. So 010, obviously they're gonna come up with their own, and it's coming sooner than you think. I believe it should be ready by the end of the year, probably earlier than that. So you should expect that, and it's basically going to allow us and facilitate you as a digital fashion designer, creator, brand company, to create your designs and just use the best tech in the app, because that is what we have right now. That is the best. Like we all have experience with Snapchat. We all have experience with Instagram. I mean, Instagram doesn't even have 3D body tracking, so we can get into the tech details later. But as of now, that's the news about 010. They're gonna come up with their platform, and it's just gonna make it a lot easier for all of us looking to get our digital clothing, to wear it, to show it off to our friends. Um, and similar to Filter, which I'm going to talk about in a couple seconds, these are going to probably be working with the AR glasses. First of all, Apple is going to bring them. That's why these apps are made for Apple devices. But eventually, like, you just imagine yourself wearing these AR glasses, obviously at home, but like out in the street. Like, that's the thing about augmented reality. Like, we don't want to be um, have like a closed environment. Like, we want to be outside. We want to see things in the real world. And sure, we want to augment it with digital stuff. Digital fashion is going to be one of them. So just imagine walking on the street, going to a party, having your glasses on, and seeing your friend in your digital fashion. Like, that's what I'm most excited about. That's what I'm waiting for. I think it's coming sooner than we expected. Um, but yeah, that's the news about 010. As we go deep in the chat and you have more questions, you can let me know and I'll let you know if I can answer them. And then Filter. So Filter is right now they have the best face tracking technology. So 010, I believe, is the best to create body filters, and Filter, Filta, you can find it also only on the App Store right now, is the best for face tracking. So if you know Apple devices and you know like the whole emojis, they just have a good technology hardware, so they track your face the best. Um, they use like depth sensors and all this cool technology. So Filter is utilizing that technology to bring creators of face filters. They're gonna do body filters later too, but right now they're focusing on face filters, and for avatars. So that's another thing that we can touch up later: digital fashion, digital identity, avatars. But Filter is a great tool, and actually, all of the other social media platforms, they're based on what Filter is using, which is a software called Unity. It's a game engine. Also interesting topic because this metaverse, this digital thing, games are really important. Creating digital assets that are game ready assets is really important to just have this really immersive experience, really optimized experience for all of our devices. But that's what Filter is using. Right now we are creators, both me and Yana. I do some tutorials for them, so we are getting started in some pretty cool tech that we just want to share with you guys. So once again, I think that 010 is the best for body and Filter is the best for face. And yeah, we can answer more questions later.
Thank you so much. That's been really, really clear and explanatory. One thing, Hafid, people say that you sound a little bit a little hard. So did you apply some sound effect to your voice, or are you just too close to your phone? This is the only thing which I've wanted to tell you.
Oh, probably the sound effect. How does that sound?
It's good. It's perfect. Good.
My bad.
Fixed. Thank you so much. No, that was good. Don't worry, we fixed that. Well, I wanted to ask you and maybe people from the listening poll. So, guys, so first of all, Hafid, what do you say? What are the benefits of designers joining 010 app or Filter app? Those platforms which are in Web 3 and not in Web 2, as let's say Instagram filter like Spark AR and Lens Studio and House Effect for TikTok. What are the benefits literally for us digital designers to create for these two platforms, for 010 and for Filter?
Yes, so I can start with Filter since that is the one that I have most experience dealing with NFTs. So it's basically Filter gonna allow you to create all of the filters that you already make in your social media platforms. You can make them in the game engine, which is Unity, but every filter that you create is an NFT. Um, I don't know if we have to explain NFTs to this audience and the benefits of it, so let me know. But basically, you're
I
gonna
think
be
it's
able
fine.
to, yeah, we should be fine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we can yeah, everything that you create is an NFT, so you can sell it, right? And yes, it is going to be a learning experience, like as a customer and as a user of like, okay, now you can sell your filters, like back in the day, Snapchat, like the famous dog filter. Like, imagine you had to buy that to wear it. Also, I mean, Filter just released an option that you can put your filters as a free, right? But now you have the power to sell that work because it's work, right? Like we have to do the work as creators, as designers. And sure, you can get money from contests, you can get money from clients, which I have done some myself. But now your work is valuable in that way. So NFTs is just coming into the face filter industry, into the whole AR industry. So that's the greatest benefits of filter. Um, the NFTs, but also the tools. I would say, and I told this to Diana whenever I brought her into Filter. I convinced her to come into Unity. Unity, you can think of Unity as the mother software. Like it's has so much power that the social media can obviously cannot compare because Filter is a dedicated application for filters, and social media is like they put the filters on top. It's not the priority. We can talk about like spec. Limitations like face filters and filters in social media have like a limit, right, of a project. 8 megabytes, 10 megabytes, 5 megabytes. Filter and Unity have like 100 megabytes. So it just makes you think of like how much power we're going to be given with the models, with the textures. Of course, it's best for you to learn some optimizations and like low poly. Again, going back to the game ready assets, like all of this is for the metaverse, so we have to be familiar with this pipeline, which again we can touch upon. 010 is also going to help us with that. I'm going to be teaching you guys stuff about that as well. And for Zero Ten, it's just I would say the greatest benefit is the best tech for body tracking right now. It's a lot of us are struggling. A lot of friends and colleagues are struggling with getting the body filters right, especially if you come from traditional fashion and you have this super detailed plan and like your textures are in substance and higher quality. But then you bring it into all of these platforms and it's like, oh, you have to make a super low poly, you have to optimize it a lot. The textures are not what you look like. I mean, you still have to do that in Serial 10 because again, they're game ready assets. You still have to do some optimization, but I personally haven't done much body filters in all of the other apps because it just doesn't look the same. Like you have to sort of degrade your design, which I mean you have to adapt it and it's okay. But I just don't want to rush it, and some people just want the best for their designs because they took so long. And now with NFTs, you can get paid for the work as well. So those are the benefits that I would say.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think that you really have outlined the main importances of generally what a creator would need in a platform. Let's say we are not all digital fashion creators here. Some of us actually work more with 3D models, but generally in Web3, we really want to impress our people who buy our art. We want to give them the best textures, we want to give them the best shaders, the best representation of the product. And unfortunately, I would say my personal opinion, none of the Instagram or Snapchat technologies could really transmit what I was intending to show with my art, with my fashion pieces. So let's say I would say that it's very cool that Zero Ten and such platforms like Filter, they really increase the limits. Let's repeat again, 100 megabytes for filter, right? So a filter in filter can weigh 100 megabytes, which means fantastic textures, high definition, a lot of polys, right? So no limitation whatsoever. I'm not sure about 010, but we're gonna all see that. But let's say this is something really, really important, that finally designers are not limited And also, what do you say about phone limitations? Like, what is your opinion about the fact that 010 and Filter app work only on iPhone, on iOS system? Would you say that it actually restricts a lot of users from getting the best digital fashion items or filter items?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I am myself. I come from Android. I love Android. I had a grudge against Apple because I couldn't afford Apple products back then, and actually, I had to buy an iPhone just to create for Filter. But for me, as a creator, was worth it because again, going back to how you want to represent your work, like that's the best way for me to represent my work. And this is just a tool, right? It's also like a business expense if you want to see it that way. But yeah, I would say that there is limitations, right? But it's just like any other tech. Like if you are working on a software and you want to do 3D creation, you're gonna need, and it's best for you to have like a gaming laptop, right? So it's definitely like a tech. There is a tech barrier in there. I know for sure. So the reason that these filters in social media are so used and compatible is because some of the tech they use is based on the image, right? So like just quickly talking about the tag, like they detect the image of you of your face, and then they recognize it as a face. In contrast to filter, it's more like they have sensors. They use the hardware itself, and that's why it's more accurate. So they can obviously build the tag so it recognizes only the image. But with the extra information of the iOS devices, they can do a lot more. It's like if you have heard of lidar, the lidar technology on iOS devices for 3D scanning, and this is just for phones and machines to understand our world, right? So yeah, the tech is gonna give you a lot of power as well. I see the road out. How's the question?
Yes, please. Yeah, Rodel.
Yes, yes. Good morning. What's up, guys? It's Mo back here behind the Raw Dow page. You guys have been dropping major gems. The Fid, I'm so excited that that was you behind this account here. Because when I seen we were talking about Get Filter, I'm like, OMG. I've only been watching that project because I've been watching you create with it, and then introduce it to amazing artists like Iana, and just again seeing how you can transition. We've seen different people try different marketplaces like Jevels or Dress X, or a lot of different designers try Snapchat. So being able to, like, all of us try these tools and then be able to have these kind of conversations and share what we've learned from them to inspire other people, and share our history is what I love to do. So I just had a quick question about what you were mentioning there about it only being on Apple, because I thought that was really interesting. A lot of what I've seen here, like say for example, a few metaverses that I build in, because that's kind of my area of focus, they are the opposite, where you can't you do it on a MacBook. And so for, this technology to be kind of on the contrary, what I also learned when I first got into digital fashion, like maybe a year ago, I think it was at this point, at first I had my old laptop, and I had a laptop just from like working from home. And I don't know if you guys know about Rent a Center, but when I first got a laptop, it wasn't, the best laptop. And when I got into digital fashion, that's when I realized it, because I couldn't do much with it. The more software I was downloading, the more I couldn't even end up using that laptop, basically. So, I mean, the technology barrier is one that everyone has to, kind of hurdle over once you get into this space, anyhow. And so, for me, it was like, oh, well, I know I can't get a MacBook because most things aren't compatible with this MacBook. So when you're doing this Get Filter and everything, you had to get a new phone, but did you also have to get a new MacBook to even create that? And then yeah, that was just also my feedback too on seeing that barrier, and people having to educate and make that decision. Like you said, what are you going to be using so that you can buy the tools that will actually help? And then, yeah, it is a tax write-off for all those selling NFTs. Not a tax accountant, no.
Exactly, Mo. Like literally everything what you said is such a important dilemma right now with us as creators. It's like this is literally the dilemma between users and creators. Users want to be impressed. Users want to actually have an incentive, a reason to enter Web3, right? To say that okay, digital fashion or whatever digital asset can actually be beautiful, be worth the money, be worth the effort. It can actually, bring us to the more sustainable consumption models. And designers want to tell them, of course, we're so talented, we want to give you the best products. But then in the end, there is technology and a device which literally transmits our art. And for example, I'm all for, like, for sustainable consumption. And I remember how 5 years ago I bought my Huawei, I don't know how to pronounce it, like Huawei phone, and that cost me like 300 euros. It was my first salary. I was like 17. I've been cherishing that phone until I was 25. I tell you, I was changing the battery to this phone. And then suddenly I've realized that I can't go on anymore like this with my Huawei phone. I really need to invest in iPhone because I'm a digital creator. So that was also, as Michikana said, it was an investment, right? But how many people want to make this investment if it's not their job? So let's say, yeah, of course, technology, this phone, which shows us the world of Web3, the world of digital fashion design, should actually be capable of, literally playing 100 megabyte filter. And this is a very big dilemma nowadays. I really hope that we will find this balance, literally, that companies and the technology being produced will help us to be less wasteful and to actually, technology will get to the point when it's going to be good enough that we will not need to change our phones every 2 or 3 years just to catch up with the Web3, let's say, trends and digital fashion trends. I really, really hope that it will be one day. Will be the case. What do other people think? Tell me, please, people who are listening to us now. What is your experience? What generally, are you Android users, iPhone users? How easy was it to ever try anything on 010 app? Tell me, please, guys. Do you have any ideas on this point? That's fine, guys. Just tell me if you would love to, to pop up, please. If you want to speak up, just show me. Guys, I have a question for you. So we've been discussing the incentives for fashion designers to actually, enter the NFT spaces. What do you think are the main revenue sources for designers in AR industry? What do you say? Does anyone have any kind of experience of work already earning with fashion filters, or working with clients, or selling your filters, or yeah, literally minting your filters as NFT? Hafid, I think that you have great experience to share.
Yeah, for sure. And I was thinking, now that we're asking the audience, like, okay, now we have soundboard and everything. It'll be nice. There is a chat actually here in the Twitter Spaces. You see like a purple chat button. You guys can reply in there, um, so we can have that conversation with you. If you don't want to come up, it might be easier for you. My experience as a creator, when I started Filter, I mean, it went really well. So I started selling my, I mean, it was the first time of me hearing of people buying my filter, right? So it was mainly the main revenue. It was mainly like people like enthusiasts of Web3. So it's not only buying a face filter, but you also have to know about Web3 and what crypto means, right? So it's not like you can buy it with a credit card. So it's like two huge barriers that I had to tackle at the beginning. But it was fine. The community was there. It's still there. It's still growing. Um, yeah, but I mean, it was honestly not as bad as I expected. It went really well. We sold out a couple of items. We're still selling. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's only going to grow up from here. But again, it is those two barriers of like people getting used to buying digital items, finding that community, but also finding that community that knows about crypto, because these are NFTs at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is also one of the barriers. First of all, apart from the entire idea of Web3, and then the sub group of this, Web3 world, which is digital art, and we also have a little subgroup of digital art, which is digital fashion. It's very difficult to actually onboard people on that and make them pay for any of our art, because there is not that much education going on. So in my case, what I struggle the most with is actually to explain people not how to open the wallet, but how to exchange crypto. So we have Binance, we have, what else do we have, like something, Binance doesn't work in New York, and there is like another crypto platform. So people are very, like, it's very difficult for people to actually start trading crypto and start buying art. But let's say, what do you guys think is the most important in generally collecting this NFT filters? Would you love that people maybe use them more? Would you love that it's more accessible, or would you love that people create more displays? Because I know that we have Wardrobe guys right now listening to us, who's created, for example, a community curated gallery, and I, for example, already have my filter there, and this is very, very sweet that such initiatives exist, because, in my opinion, it's very important to understand why we even need to collect any digital items. And such galleries, or let's say digital wardrobes, presentation methods really, really matter in this at this point. Maybe actually, Wardrobe, you even would love to share your opinion. No pushing, but just saying, right? Okay. Um, guys, my next question to you is, what do you say? We have digital fashion, and we all know that utility is very important. First of all, guys, I want to ask you, how do you even understand utility? What is utility for you personally? Because I might be talking about my perspective as digital fashion designer, but what do you say about utility of an NFT?
Actually, we brought in Temo's brand, so if you want to answer this question as well as the other one, go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Estefania. I'm from Colombia. Happy to see another Latino here. I'm the designer of the Moss brand, and it's, it was initially a Web2 brand, creating custom-made garments mostly. But like since I'm on the page of like creating sustainable pieces, things that are slow fashion, and when I started like hearing about Web3 and digital fashion, I was already like learning and creating some digital stuff, and I incorporate also like custom made prints and some garments. So I just like dive deep into it. I actually like partner with some AR creators, and we made a physical piece with AR, and it's been great. Like when you ask Yana about like if we were making profit of it, like we actually like sold two pieces, and it's also like bringing a lot of attention, I guess, like from the fact that it's something new, different, and allows people to see like fashion from different perspectives. So like yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. We're still like exploring, doing a lot research and collaborations with other talented creators. Um,
Tell me
but yeah,
more about those pieces which you've sold. What were they? What kind of like items were they?
so like we created the a physical garment, right? It was like we made two suits, one for men, one for women, and we made the digital twins. We incorporated some augmented reality into it, and we also like I created the sketch, so we minted the sketch as an NFT, um, and someone bought it, um, the one for men and the one for women, and like I'm actually right now like trying to create a kind of like a roadmap. It's pretty new. So like people have been asking like, and mostly like people here like in on Twitter, like they want to know more, like what if I want my digital twin. And I also like, now that you mentioned utility, so like for me, like utilities is very important. And I guess like for people that are new to the space, like they probably don't value digital as much as like we do. But utility is a good way to um, like bridge that gap, I guess.
Oh, awesome! Thank you, thank you. I think that it's always very important, to listen to everyone's understanding of utility. So, for you, as I understood, the utility is the bridge between the customer and the digital twin of your product, which is really, really important when I think a brand wants to go to into Web3. Um, yeah, tell
Yeah,
me this. Mhm.
like for me, like most of my clients, like they're not even on Twitter, they're not on Instagram, they're like uh it's people like on their 50s. So it's like it's gonna require a lot for me to explain these things. But like for instance, we had an event in June, and that was the first, like I was already like very involved in NFTs and the digital spaces. So like for the event, for the fashion show, it was like very immersive, and we incorporated like augmented reality. So like many of those like clients that I had, like they were asking, and like this is cool, this is new. We also like had the option like for people to get like mean the entrance instead of just buying the ticket. So I guess like just like giving people the option, like not like force it necessarily, but just like being more open, and like also like educate, right? Like that's something like we've been doing too. Like for a lot of people, like they don't really know where to find the resources. So like we are like hosting some onboarding sessions too, like for our clients, and just like in general for people who are interested in getting to know more about the space.
That's really fantastic. Really, really great that you also brought up the educative part of the, let's say, of your brand, of digital twin of your brand, because it's also part of utility. This is really great. Another additional definition of utility. Everyone, please go and really follow themosbrand.xyz. This is what I want from this Twitter space, that everyone connects. My boho life, please. You wanted to speak up. It's your floor. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anna. And I just feel really thankful to be over here. We've also just launched. And this is a topic, right? It's a hot topic across the digital fashion space. So, a little bit about us. So, we have been in the Web2 space. So, previously, we were working as our own fashion line, and we have been mostly distributing, handmade and sustainable clothes in many parts of Asia. And now we have simply started with our model in Web3. And I just have some comments, basis the kind of response that we got when we started out with making a digital twin. So it's not out yet on our Twitter page, but we have experimented with it just to see what kind of response is there from our initial customers. So one thing is, what I've understood is that for a lot of non-native people who are not aware of Web3 till now, they think that utility is something which has to be tangible, right? So if they are not able to really get some kind of tangible value, and for a lot of them it could be really to touch, feel, or see the actual product, right? So that is something which it's kind of like a blocker, I would say. That is the real meaning of utility for them. But now, since you were talking about filters, what I have personally seen and observed in this space is that once we gradually start moving towards adoption of digital, and once we start having more options and it becomes more accessible for us, this is something which is gradually going to become mainstream. And how I know that is, we can take example of, say, Instagram right now. And the reason why filters are so popular are because they are so accessible, and because fashion is such a space that it really all depends on appeal and attraction. That's at least the first point, why someone actually gets into the space or wants to become a prospective buyer. I think the more accessible these filters become, the more adoption we will see from from web3 natives who are who've adopted to web3 initially. And once that starts happening, and once that adoption takes place, we will get to know of a lot of web2 people who actually start learning. So learning more about it and try and adopt to more filters as they become more accessible. So I really think we need to collectively figure out ways to make sure that what we're making, at least some part of it, is gradually more accessible to people around the world. And once they start looking and feeling the way they want to in it, they will definitely want to know more about it. So it's a very gradual process, but I'm just talking basis on what I've heard from our existing customers who've got a taste of what a prospective digital twin could look like. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. This is also something which I've been always saying, that technically filters, it's generally, the great product per se, but also it's the entrance key for those people who are still very much non-native, who maybe never heard even about anything what's going on in Web3. This is that entrance key which allows people to maybe start even looking towards the digital side. And guys, what is the feedback, what you've been getting from, let's say, onboarding people, maybe showing them how AR works, how filters work, how let's say digital garments, the AR filters with garments like in 010 work. So we have a lot of people who've been maybe created some filters for 010 or for Snapchat or for Instagram. We have Mechicano and myself creating for Filter. And please, join our team to create more filters. So, guys, what is the feedback? Do you see people using your filters? Do you see people actually understanding and getting the feeling like, oh yeah, now I get it. I feel like I'm beautiful. I'm streaming my video with a filter. I'm recording stories in filter, and people say, "Oh, you are so pretty." Do you have this feedback generally?
I want to start with that one. Oh, you can go, Mo. Sorry, I mean.
No, it was cool. I was just gonna say, one experience that I've definitely noticed is once, like, because I've had a lot of meetings in Web 2 recently, just trying to because like you said, onboarding people. I try to do like a physical to digital made simple kind of concept, and I always try to wear a filter to those kind of meetings when we're in like any kind of one of those apps, because Snapchat has that technology where you can be on your laptop with it, and then it can translate into any camera that you have, which again, when we talk about onboarding, that makes it a little easier. And so what I've noticed is when I wear it to that first meeting, the second meeting, they're excited, like, "Ooh, I can't wait to see which filter you are going to wear today." Or at that first meeting, we've gone through and I've explained, "Oh, download Snapchat Lens," or or Snapchat, Snapchat Lens. You can sign in, use whatever filters you want, and kind of go through that whole spill. So I've definitely noticed an excitement once people have seen it or got to try it. It's just always that moment, like getting to that moment, right? Getting them to try. Like, one thing that got me excited is I live here in Vegas, and when I visited before I moved here, which made me move here, is I was on the strip and I went into VR. A lot of these stores use VR now. So you actually put on the goggles and you go into it and you're like, wow, I was just on a roller coaster, but I definitely see how this can change the world. So again, I think once people actually see that and they see the fashion and they see the filters, it like all comes together and makes sense.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the experience about, using the lens camera. For those who don't know what it is, you have, if a filter is created via Snapchat, via Lens Studio, you can always download an app to your laptop, which is called Lens Camera, and to attend any Google, Zoom, any meeting which uses your laptop camera with a filter. And I've also had this experience wearing jewelry, and people are excited. Yeah, it's all very new to people, and like there is this barrier when everyone looks at you like, aren't you silly? But at the same time, you feel like in innovator. And yeah, I think that it's also very important to, just to start. Michigana, you wanted to add something.
Oh yes, but adding up to what we were talking about, um, remember how I mentioned how like these social media filters work on image. This is one of the greatest benefits, that you can use your webcam, or I mean you can attach any other camera and you can put a filter on. So it's super accessible. So like that's one of the greatest benefits. I was gonna say, going back to your question, Yana, of the experience. I was gonna ask you, since you came to to Filta and Unity, like how has it been for you? Because I told you all that I started with Filta, and I was like, this is the place to make filters. It runs super smooth. The quality is amazing, and but you actually have to wear it. Like it, you have to wear it, and then it's so like to me it's such an upgrade. Like whenever we upgraded from TVs going from like 24 frames per second 30 to like 60 frames, like you can tell the difference. I hope you can tell. But how
Oh, I
was your
can, yeah.
experience? Like do you become, can you actually become the avatar, like since it's so realistic, I guess?
This is actually also insane, yeah, about the avatars. So let me break down everything for those who have no idea generally about like how filters are made. So I would say that I started my experience with creating filters in Instagram, and first filters which I've added there were, let's say, not really good quality, because you can't really upload more than 8 megabytes, and you need to squeeze beautiful 3D models there, your textures, and generally everything. So of course, I created something even beautiful in my opinion, but it wasn't really, used that much because I saw the disadvantages. Then I started creating for Snapchat, and I also, of course, faced the limitations, 8 megabytes, but it was a bit better because, like, I could use cloth simulation, and there is this body tracking, so you could already see more and more opportunities here. And I was very excited. I started talking to my clients like, hello, you can do your t-shirts, your coats and stuff, but just imagine as a filter. And I make it for them. They're like, mm, it's not really, it's just not perfect. So this not perfect really kind of left me a bit sad, yeah, just upset, like how are we moving on. And when you brought me to Filter, first of all, I really decided I'm going to invest in iPhone. So it was the first step. Because yeah, you said 60 frame per second and 100 megabytes limit. Of course, it requires better technology. So again, like, yeah, coming back to the obstacles right now onboarding people. But what I've literally experienced is that with this like almost zero limitations for me, and with perfect tracking, I've got the actual utility. Like, I've been asking people what utility is for you guys. For me, utility is something which really persuades me that it looks good, and I'm not sacrificing anything. So I'm not here, to wearing, like, I'm not wearing this let's say earrings because I feel like, well, but it's digital fashion, like it's sustainable. And yeah, I know that it looks like a bit of a, a drawn picture on my face, but like with Filter, it's literally there. It's very, very easy to actually even mistake it for something real. And of course, digital fashion designers need to have cloth simulation, which is there because Filter is run on game edge engine called Unity, and cloth simulation is flawless. This is something which it's really insane, and I wish that one day we merge two worlds of great body tracking and cloth simulation quality as in Unity. It's like as if 010 and Filter married each other and gave a great baby. That would be literally my dream. So when I've created a bunch of great quality filters with great rigging, like I created those eyelashes made of ostrich feathers, and they're tracked by like in literally every single millimeter of my eyelids, something exceptional. I also realized, well, this technology, this quality gave this object, this NFT, a lot of value, and I literally started seeing the value because also the business model of Filter is built on the premises that they're not giving even the free try. So you have two tries, 10 seconds each, with watermark. This is a lot of debate about this as well, but they're trying to actually protect the value of the filter and of the artist creation by these limitations. Yeah, so this is also, one thing to debate about, because, well, we have tons of good stuff on Instagram and Snapchat, but they're not protected. They're just, well spread, and artists get nothing. And we have filter, which gives your creation great value. It gives your creation, that little bit of rareness, if I may, right? So that was something which I really noticed. And for example, this is what made me buy one of your filters. Yeah, Hafid, like I saw that. And the entire platform is built this way that the collection of your filters is actually displayed beautifully. So this is again about the importance of platforms displaying your NFTs in proper way, because I want to show off with such beautiful creations which people make using such great technology, unprecedented quality. So, yeah, in a nutshell, I've been just talking for 7 minutes. Sorry, guys. In a nutshell, that's literally what caught me. And I see that probably AR filters are going to be those entrance tickets, entrance keys for people to onboard in Web3 and to really start seeing the value of digital beauty assets, of digital models, of digital filters, and yeah, to tell themselves, like, look, I love this metaphor. You all probably are never going to see me in real life. Probably we will meet each other one day, but mostly what you will remember about Yana is her profile picture or her videos or her Instagram account. And I want this Instagram account be pretty. I want this interaction be beautiful. And this is how I apply digital fashion, AR filters. And this is my ultimate utility, guys.
Thank you for sharing. Oh man, that was a lot. And I mean, you touch on digital identity, basically, right? Like you say, people are
Yeah.
not gonna meet you on real life, and this is what we started as soon as remote work started, right? Like to digital identity and set up how you want to be represented online, and no, there's no limitations. Like we all have the chance to be a different identity every day, every second, on every platform. That's what I love about this online world the most. AR fashion, gaming. Again, we can touch on gaming maybe on a different podcast. But thank you for sharing, Yana.
I think you can also tell your experience, how you've been changing your, let's say, online identities. For example, you've changed your name, and it also, like, people were like confused, who is that guy now? And you're also like changing your profile pictures. And I also realized that um it's important for us nowadays to make our Instagram accounts look good. Yeah, this is like the description in the Instagram page actually matters. So what do you say about your experience, like, with changing and playing with your online personalities thanks to AR as well?
I will say that this might become the norm when we again have more access to all of these tools, all of these features. I personally love it. I am a gamer. At my core, I am a gamer, so I'm used to going to different games and having a different skin, having a different character. It's an opportunity for you to have a different story, right? And this is the online world. There's no physical limitation, so I think that everybody should at least try it, because you have the opportunity to literally be whatever you want. And right now, yeah, it's limited to maybe a profile picture, but then you can go into AR filters, and then once you can see those AR filters through like your AR glasses, then it's just gonna keep going up. Like I am just like a tech enthusiast. I am a avatar, a storytelling enthusiast. I just love expressing myself and having no limits online. So I think that that's gonna be yeah, sure. You can have like the main username, but then you can change your profile picture, your avatar, whatever. But that's just my experience. Like I personally love it. Like also like privacy. If you, I think it's gonna be really important for privacy that you can keep your real life persona safe. Especially, I think that we're gonna advance to like a social media or like an online world especially with Web3 and decentralization, where everything is transparent, where everybody's going to know everything about you. And they can know everything about you on your open profile, right? So I think it's also going to be a matter of safety, of like having different, I guess, like avatars and personas in your real life persona. Maybe you can share it with, really, really close family. I mean, that's just how I see it.
It's actually so crazy that you mentioned this, because I've never thought about protection aside of AR. And also, AR gets to that great quality that it, like, for example, you have the model, a 3D model on your face, and it tracks your lips, it tracks your eyes. So it's literally the um like just let's say updated avatar, just like, like you speak and your avatar repeats after you. It's literally great online rendering, let's say, with nowadays technology. And what you said, I've realized that I think that I've never seen your face because every time then you've been teaching us or like calling us, I've always seen filter face filters, and this is actually really, really mysterious, I would say, even.
Yeah, am I even real? I mean, with AI nowadays, this can be
Yeah.
an automated message.
All right, guys, I think that we have 5 minutes, and what I would love to do is to give a bit of, let's say, wrap up, and to give a bit of a follow up action, right? Like, let's kind of generate call to action. So, my first call to action is right now I'm going to drop a link to our AR Fashion Discord. It's in the comment to this AR Fashion tag Twitter space. I think that you will see it now. This is the Discord which we started as a study group. So we are not talking only about, let's say, like Snapchat, Instagram, or Filter. We are generally moving, pushing AR creation into the masses. So there are like 12 people now. That was literally our little small initiative. But anyway, we are keeping this updated. Hafid, what would you say? Do as a teacher for Unity or for Filter, and as the future teacher of 0 to 10, what would you say to everyone who would love to join the AR world of 3D modeling and digital fashion?
I would say be patient, be open. Tools are getting better. You're gonna be able to create faster and just better quality. Obviously, join the Discord, like Yana said. Like even though we are creators from Filta and we're working with 010, like we talk about everything, right? Like this is about bringing creators probably the best tools that we could get. So we talk about all of the platforms. And yeah, just be open minded. Always stay learning. I mean, you might have to learn new softwares, but that's just how it is. You just have to update your tools. So I think it's really important for you to update your tools and just be open minded. Join communities like this where we just gonna be honest and transparent about everything that we learn. I personally learned a lot of the stuff that I know online, so it just makes sense for me to give back to, let's say, the collective consciousness, right? So I think it's just important for you to stay active, which you're already doing by being in this podcast. So just keep it up.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it might sound very, kind of just basic, like follow and join, but this is how it gets, everyone going. And in my experience, it's never been easy. It's never been easier as it's now, because everyone wants to support each other, and information is available. We're always happy to help everyone. Like Hafid has taught me how to use Unity and how to create filter for Filter, and I'm myself right now very excited, actually, to push the knowledge further. Okay, guys, tell me please if anyone has any questions, if you would like to add anything, anyone from the listeners. We have 2 more minutes to listen to any questions, to answer any questions. Tell me please if you have some. No? Fantastic, guys. Then I think that we are wrapping this up. Thank you very much. I'm really excited, and I'm very happy that second time in a row it's been about AR in fashion, and that was our Fashion Friday. Okay, guys, I really, really wish you a great weekend, and thank you for being here, for being such fantastic, active listeners. And good luck. Good luck with your AR creations, with your digital creations. And see you anytime soon. Bye bye.